Aries, health, home, and money takes a turn for the better. All three are on the rise as we look at June of 2025's astrology. Welcome. We have such an exaltation energy of Jupiter to your fourth house. It's so prosperous and it's so game-changing for your life. So today's video, Aries, is for your sun, moon, and rising. You can listen for all three. Your sun sign can be relevant to your career, your moon, to your home life, but your rising sign is everything relevant. It's the character in the simulation. It's the game player, the game avatar in the simulation or game of life. So your rising sign degree, or it doesn't matter, just your rising sign is going to give you a lot of circumstantial evidence that astrology works, but you can listen for sun and moon too. And we're going to talk about what a game-changing breath of fresh air June can be. It's good, but not great because of a square to Saturn from Jupiter. But for the most part, 4 planets changing signs, including 2 in dignity, Venus and Jupiter, bring about a feeling of such a difference between what you experienced in April and May. This is going to feel very much like a relief and very positive. So let's get going and talk about each separate sign. I'm going to show you the chart. Let's do that right now. And let's spin the wheel and do our half hour together, roughly 25 minutes to 30 minutes in general, in chronological order. Wait a minute, I forgot to tell you something. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Lori Luthian. I am using Western Tropical Zodiac Astrology. Please come on board. I do a lot of fixed stars and minor asteroids content, whole sign houses, of course. This is traditional ancient tools. But if you want to like and subscribe, I won't complain. Also, I share in every one of my videos for the monthlies what I'm up to in case you're interested. I do it now while I have remembrance to do so. If you want to learn from me, I do teach a lot of classes, and my yearly Sky Reader class, only once a year, you want to jump into it, is coming up for the 6th year in a row. This time it's taught in the summer, July and August. Be your own astrologer and time your best life. That is what that course is for. It gives you enough astrology understanding to read your chart accurately, the basics of a fundamental astrology, and then learning some very cool ancient timing tools that are very simple to learn. So that's coming up in July and August. In the description below, in my description box under the video, you will find the following things: a link to the course curriculum description, a link to the early bird discount notification waitlist for your emails. Otherwise, you won't know when it opens and you won't get that discount. Also, my 2025 All Signs horoscope bundles are now for sale and half price. And that means that you're going to get 2 hours per sign. That's 24 hours of video, predictive content for your sign, and a PDF guidebook written by me for your sign. Please go ahead and grab that. I hope you'll enjoy the half price sale now that we're almost halfway through the year, and you can still get a lot of guidance from me on your 2025 predictions. Now we'll go ahead and share the wheel. Here we have Aries, sun, moon, and rising people. And you're going to notice that as we begin the month, Venus, the goddess of love, is in a beautiful sextile conjunction to Chiron and building a sextile or a lucky connection to Jupiter. If you have a chironic wound as an Aries sun, it's about your career. Aries moon about home and home life. And if you're an Aries rising, about your appearance, about your identity, about who you are in the simulation. That's the chironic journey since 2019 through Aries. And now Venus is trying to repair some of the damage. And later in the month, Mars will as well. And so you might be coming to a very good place in yourself regarding some of these energetic difficulties and the very first 2 or 3 days of the month of June. Then we notice that Venus begins to activate June 1st through to about the 7th, a sextile to Jupiter. Well, this is not a bad story, guys. This is going to bring you into contact with a lot of fortunate energy. One thing I can say about this sextile, besides it's lucky, you are lucky. Your career is lucky if you're an Aries sun. Your home life is lucky if you're an Aries moon. And your whole life is lucky if you're Aries rising, but the luck is pertaining mostly to third house stories. So you're lucky when it comes to travel, teaching and learning, prosperity and abundance in the online world. This is where Jupiter has been traveling for a whole year. This is also some luck that you may experience regarding a sibling one younger, or luck coming from neighbors, neighborhood environments, aunts, uncles, cousins. Luck in the local hood could be an easy way to call this one out. All said and done, it's a vibe of good fortune that is prevailing for your entire first week of the month. And you may feel very personally gratified and grateful during this time by events that are occurring in your environment, in your daily life, in your local world. If you're online social media beast, you're going to have some up levels of your success in the first week of June, more celebrity, more popularity, and more prosperity. Now, on June the 6th or so, two things are happening. Around the 5th, 6th, Mercury comes into a flow with Mars, and Venus changes signs. Mercury and Mars together, this is everybody's happy story if you're into marketing, selling, and promoting, which Mercury does very well in the 3rd house. And Mars says gung-ho success because it's the house of good fortune. Wonderful for entrepreneurs in the online world. Wonderful for communication connected to romantic partners. Wonderful for travel and partnership connections to inspire romantic getaways and short distance getaways and trips and fire up a lot more passion. Don't forget, Venus is still flowing to that Mars. And I love the vibe here in the first week of June for romantic getaways in long-term or committed love, ideally, but any kind of romantic engagement as well. June 7th and the 8th, both of those days, you're going to see a combining of Mercury and Jupiter for good news. Okay, that's what it usually brings forth. Good information, lucky breaks, golden opportunities through emails, phone calls, and text messages. In your case, this is happening in your 3rd house. So if you use social media at all, especially with the shining a spotlight here still, then you're going to have a social media glow up pretty well around June 7th and 8th. And you'll notice that something good is happening on your prosperity front at the same time as Venus is ingressed on June the 6th into your 2nd house. The 2nd house ingress will give you a good run here till July 4th of better money and better prosperity and better earnings and better savings through anything you're engaging in your life. You know, it's just like your money, your earnings, your prosperity, your savings, good for your facial beauty. You may improve your appearance of your face. You may do some new makeup, some new rejuvenation. It's really good for being very charismatic and very appealing in how you speak, having people like to hear you talk or communicate through your voice. And it definitely is going to bring some financial surprises as we have Uranus co-present there, but they're positive financial surprises. And if any of you works in the online world or as an entrepreneur, some of the highlights might come from that part of the sky. Now, as the story is taking place, and just Venus there can bring you great luck in getting a new job or getting a raise or promotion, and those narratives through the Artha houses are activated. Now, when I look at the continuing narrative of planetary changes, we saw Venus change signs on June 6th, but then Mercury is eager to follow suit, and Mercury climbs over the wall into Pisces, and he does this on June the 9th. Now we have a situation where Venus and Mercury are coming into a sextile. They're going to be exact closer to June the 12th. We'll get to that, but it's going to bring a lot of material prosperity and good fortune connected to home, property, land, and real estate, including buying, selling, purchasing, or purchasing possessions for your home or selling possessions from your home. All said and done, that energy begins to activate June 9th and continues to June 12th. At the same time, Mercury ingresses into the sign of Cancer. He squares Saturn. Everybody's squaring Saturn this month. Neptune. Saturn says, get serious, get realistic, get long game strategic. Do not make any assumptions. Make sure that you've got a plan. So with Mercury in the 4th house, buying or selling property can happen. And later in the month, when Mars moves into the 6th house, renting a property, leasing a property as a landlord or tenant. So this is an element of the Saturnian influence is strategic, realistic, planning for the long game of a good situation to work out rather than jumping in without looking. And then Jupiter follows Mercury on June the 10th. So you'll see that in the first 10 days of June, 3 planets are changing signs to your benefit. With Jupiter in the 4th house, angular to you, this sets in motion 12 months of exalted luck when prosperity can happen in and from your home. What do I mean? You could be getting rich through things you're doing in the home. You could inherit some money. This is a legacy wealth transit. You could teach from home, learn from home, and be successful. You are able to, early in the story, market, sell, or buy home and property and real estate. You might also find yourself just literally expanding the family. Jupiter rules children. There could be some news coming that you're going to have a baby, or one of your children is having a baby. There's going to be more children in the family as a result, not only of the year-long transit, but of the Mercury connection early on. So there may be some news coming through from one of your kids if you're older, or maybe you are going to have a child coming through this transit. It depends on your age, obviously, right? Obviously. Mars is producing a whole lot of passion in Leo mid-April to mid-June. So some of you might be having enough romantic time, wink, wink, nod, nod, that you're probably pregnant by now, if you think about it. So maybe that's a possibility for the childbearing age men and women in listening to this video. Otherwise, for us grandpas and grandmas, we're looking at the moon in the house of grandchildren, while Jupiter ingresses into the house of the family. And so I wouldn't be surprised if the announcement of grandchildren coming your way occurs maybe relatively quickly, maybe while Mercury is still in Cancer through till June 26th. So June 9th to 26th is a high energy for new grandchildren showing up, new announcements, or maybe some information or news about your own life and more kids on the way. Good for marketing and selling. If you want to put a house on the market to list it, if you want to rent a property, and I suggest, or lease a property as a landlord, I suggest you wait a little bit longer, somewhere after June the 17th. But you'll still have Jupiter's support and Mercury's, but it's a better time, June 17th, the end of the month, to rent a property or to lease a property, landlord-tenant stories, okay? To pay off a debt connected to a property after June 17th. Now, sometimes when Jupiter goes in the fourth house, you might have a teacher in your home, you know, like a guru, a teacher, someone visiting you who you would consider a teacher visiting the home. Now, that's true for a whole year. So don't expect it to happen this month, but keep that in mind too. Moving into the next story as we progress forward, Venus is having a powerful critical dynamic energy square to Pluto. And this is playing out right away, like June 9th and 10th. So we'll see it here as well, June 9th, 10th, 11th. It's still in play. Starts up pretty exact on the 9th. So let's give it this. Let's give it right away. Let's go June 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. June 7th to 11th, transformation in your earnings, money, and financial resources connected to great gains in your career, but it's regenerative, renewing, and cathartic, and transforming, and intense because it's a square. You might need to make some very powerful decisions and actions. You might have a golden opportunity through a wealthy or powerful person of social influence, a favor from someone wealthy in a high place. You might have an offer for an increase, a significant increase in your earnings, but there's a new situation here. It's not the same old, and whatever it is, it surprises you, because we still have Uranus, but it looks like a financial uplift. What I would do with it is probably say, yes, Venus is going to bring something good here, even in a square to Pluto. And with Saturn, Lord of the Pluto territory, having your back in Aries is a yes for the opportunity to increase your prosperity, usually here through career or friends and allies and benefactors and earnings and possessions. Yay, you. Take it or leave it. Now, on June the 11th, a full Sagittarius moon unfolds in our sky. The full Sagittarius moon is going to complete the new moon of November of 2024, bringing into fruition a full completion or a big energy. The seed you planted in November would have been to do with book publishing, foreign lands, travel, higher education, court and legal matters, visas and passports. Third marriages belong to the 9th house. Now, I could be a blossoming in all of those things, or a revealing, or a completion, as all full moons are about all three things. What I love about the full moon is the big fire trine in the sky, as a lunation will flow to Mars in Leo and also Chiron in Aries, creating a daring do initiative and bold action, a kind of free-spirited courage that allows for the following themes. This moon in the 2 weeks that follows and 6 months that follows could get you gallivanting on a pilgrimage, traveling the world, creating new entrepreneurial businesses that are international, book publishing industry included, calling yourself back to school or going to higher educational learning environments to heal a chironic wound about your identity. Maybe you always wanted, like me, to study film school or get my MFA in creative writing. Maybe there's something in there. I am a sun and a moon in Aries, but you might be fulfilling these things, and these things may be in play. I think in November, I looked at the Vancouver Film School thinking maybe I'll enroll. So this is a kind of seed planting in November. Some of you will go back to school or go to school. Some of you will travel the world. Some of you will start new entrepreneurial businesses. Some of you may engage in romance. Some of you may fulfill, complete, or end a third like marriage-like environment with harmony and ease. Some of you may heal your body and your health as a result of this, because now you have a lucky dharmic glow up through the houses of purpose, almost like by being more in purpose and in alignment with your purpose and meaning of life, your health will begin to thrive. Those are examples. Could you get new romance from this? Absolutely. Mars is in the house of romantic love. The moon is in the house of foreign distant lands and educational settings. You may be healing your wounds around romantic love, and a new sexual romantic partnership could blossom off of this sky. So many ways this lunation could go. Let me know how it unfolds. You'll know within 2 weeks after June 11th what the gig is really about. You won't have to wait much longer, but know that it fulfills itself over the course of 6 whole months. On June the 12th, Mercury and Venus are in a very tight sextile. And that is going to be the day after the moon. I need water. I'm not even going to pause the recording. I'm just going to get it because I don't want to stop and start. Hang in there, Aries. It's just because you're my last video. Yes. You know what's so funny, Aries? I started my videos with Pisces, and usually I start with Aries, and Aries are the least likely to listen, and I make the most glitches with Aries, and now Pisces got the most glitches because the first video I do in a run is always going to be getting used to the sky, right, and trying to remember what's happening. And so here we go. Mercury brings news and Venus brings money. Money news, good prosperity news, good news about your face, good news about your dietary style, good news about property, land, and real estate, good news about home, good news about abundance in the home, good news about financial opportunities in and from the home. Well, those are just a few possibilities. Pluto's kind of half-assed in the mix. Good news about great financial gains connected to things you're doing in and from the home. A nice good news vibe on June 12th. You'll feel it building. Nice to the 12th. Now, the dark side of the sky for the world, watch for the Iran thing to blow out of proportion, if you ask me, is going to be Mars squaring Uranus. Mars squaring Uranus is a story that you're going to feel on June the 12th. June the 12th to the 16th, that square is highly active. Mars will be going into the sign soon of Virgo, but he's still here at the end of your 5th house. Now, this is a house of romantic love, children, entrepreneurial businesses, and creative projects. Uranus is money in a money house and surprise. There could be a financial surprise that may not be particularly easy, or it may be a little bit alarming, but it could be a breakthrough too. So a financial breakthrough connected to entrepreneurial and creative projects, or a financial surprise connected to one of your children, for example, or a financial surprise connected to a sibling too younger than you, which would be your 5th house. So this is a kind of a jolt. Sometimes we find it exhilarating and breaking through, and sometimes we find it like, Doc, I don't want this information. Thank you. Even so, it could be protected by Venus, which gives it less damage. And so even if there is a surprise here in the areas I've delineated for you, it's going to be less damaging than it could be. And if it's about money, then Venus is pretty protective. And even if there's a jolt of financial surprise regarding a lover or your children, maybe it's not bad. Maybe it's a breakthrough that requires demanding critical action and attention, because Chiron's still trining Mars and getting closer to perfecting that, healing a chironic wound about your identity at the same time. So I don't think it's all that bad for you, but keep in mind for the world, it could be a little bit more gnarly. On June the 9th, Mercury moves into the sign of Cancer. Now, Mercury in the sign of I covered that. Sorry, back it up. This is brain damage. On June the 15th, Jupiter squares Neptune, but he's been doing that all month. It just gets more intense. well, starting on the 9th. So Jupiter square Neptune from the 15th to the end of the month is pretty intensely in play. Jupiter says truth, Neptune says foggy and confusion about what's real. And then the truth-bearing aspect of Jupiter wants to discover what's real. So you're going to have some more true clarity or understanding or knowledge regarding Neptune's obfuscation in Aries, with Saturn there as well. In essence, some kind of dream that you want to make real in your life around your home, your career, or your identity has Jupiter laying down the truth spell. So you understand what is realistic and true and what is needed for a long strategy, a long tail, a long game of success. Because honestly, with Jupiter in your 4th house for the next year, I don't know if you're going to get a bigger home, but you could, a more mansion-y home, more children in the home, richer in the home, prosperous from the home, but it's a good transit. And it's going to give you a profound glow up. The only dark side is legacy wealth. You may inherit money off of this transit. With Venus in the 2nd house, you could also get money through widowerhood, or from a former spouse somehow, some way. But all of this just speaks to an incredibly powerful wealth and prosperity activation in the chart. June the 19th to the 21st, Mars will sextile Jupiter. Fortunate action, for example, is a good way to code that. Or passionate new directions and decisions that lead to great prosperity. How does this happen? Mars transfers his energy to the 6th house. This is the work house, and he's in his joy here, Aries, in the ancient tradition. Mars here works his ass off, but has a blast, and he's going to give you the ability for a while, 6 weeks, to work hard and succeed. June the 17th, add 6 weeks. Hard work pays off. Hard work is good for you. Hard work succeeds. New exercise formats and new structures for health and better health, and cutting out ways that make you unhealthy. Better power to formulate success through debt repayments, paying off a debt, winning if you need to at a lawsuit. Thank you, Jupiter, ruling the courts and judges, and also allowing for you to maybe be very strongly propelled to rent out a property or rent a property. And Jupiter says a golden opportunity to rent out a property, like lease it out, or to be like a landlord, or to become a tenant of a golden opportunity rental. Now, this is not for the whole year. This is here now. This is here between June 17th and the end of the month of July, basically. Okay. So I don't know how that'll work for you, but let me know in the comments. It's really good for so many things. Because if you work from home, it's good for you. If you want a rental property, it's good for you. If you want to prosper because you want to pay off a debt from a legacy inheritance, it's good for you. Mars is going to give you fortunate action and choices in his joy. And it's really in a tight sextile, especially June, I'd say June the 17th to the 21st. Now, the sun is going to move into the next sign. The sun is moving into Cancer. I have to move us back. We lost your ascendant. And that means that as the sun moves into the 4th house, that's actually a hardship in the ancient world. It's like having the light on all night long when you're trying to sleep. But nonetheless, the spotlight is in the home, the childhood, the family of origin, the hometown, the home you grew up in, the homeland. So mid-June to the end of July, you may spend some time closer to home, the homeland, the home you grew up in. You may travel there. Mercury loves to travel. He's going to be there as well. He loves to protect the travelers. The sun and Jupiter and Mercury down here are really wonderful and very blessed if you want to shine a light into the childhood stuff that keeps you from being prosperous. It's like shine a flashlight on the childhood wounds, and Jupiter will help you heal them, especially with support from Chiron Mercury. The sun here is about putting your career in the home, like focusing on the home, career at the home, revising your career from home, working in the house or at home, and doing very well with Jupiter there. Even if you have a day job, you might get more time home alone in order to do things. The midnight hour is lit up. You might not be sleeping so much, but your dreams will be powerful. Jupiter is the giver of the truth through the messenger Mercury, and your nighttime dreams and nocturnal life could be very, very vivid and very illuminating for you, and really helping you heal something as well. And there's a lot of visionary ability here with the Mercury, Neptune, Jupiter. So your nighttime space, your dreaming space is going to be very powerful. Now, as Sun and Jupiter come together, they also keep talking to Mercury and squaring Neptune and Saturn. Again, everything is about being strategic, realistic, and wise about things you're doing about your home life and in your home. But because this combination of sextiles Mars is back to that pay off a debt, sell a home, move into a new home, rent a property, work hard from home and succeed, prosper from home, and it just continues to act very positively towards this powerful illumination of fortunate action and work and home all intertwined. If you wanted to get a bigger home, a better home, yay, yeah, go for it. This is going to allow for that in the month of June after the 17th to the end of the month. Mars rules your house of inheritance and mortgages and spousal support, and some of this up level of your home may come through some of those things as well. Mercury gives you good news or surprising news on June 26th. How does Mercury give you surprising news? Well, Mercury happens to have a conversation. I apologize, I meant to go by day. Mercury has a conversation with Uranus. Uranus is a breakthrough, break free, or surprise, or unexpected. Mercury is information, unexpected but positive information around money and home, land and real estate and prosperity. This could be an opportunity to possess something unexpectedly, like a new sofa, a new car, a new property, a new home, a new item for your home. Those energies are very successful here and bring breakthrough and positivity, prosperity, and goodness. But again, unexpected. Because it's unexpected, and because we have Mars in the house of rentals, there may be an unexpected rental opportunity emerging for you. With Jupiter, it's blessed, it's larger than life, and it's glorious. Again, whether you're going to be a landlord or a tenant, it doesn't matter. Both sides are going to benefit. So that's playing out on the 26th of June. On the 25th of June, we have another moon. It is going to be a beautiful new moon in the sign of Cancer, fresh starts and new beginnings in your fourth house. This new moon at 4 degrees has Mercury co-present over the course of the 6 months that follow, and especially the first 2 weeks. After the June 25th lunation, you might look forward to a fresh start in your home, a new beginning in your home, a prosperous new beginning in your home, a new home in a prosperous new beginning, a new opportunity for buying or selling a home. And that 6 months that follows includes opportunities for new rental properties that are highly luscious, prosperous, spacious, and glorious. In what? Not just the 2 weeks after the moon, but up to 6 months later. Now, Jupiter and the moon are down at the bottom of the chart. So things you do in and from the home and new beginnings here are going to bring great prosperity to you and influence success in career, personal success, money success, marketplace and audience success, work success. All the success is coming from your bounteous exaltation in the home. Don't be afraid to be creative in the home, artistic in the home, communicate or write in the home. These have great ideas from your home. The home base is going to be significant. Literally, with that Mars intro, a new home office, basically, or more space for a home office, or setting up a new business in your home. These are all very powerful new beginnings and fresh starts that this new moon can indicate for your life. Yeah, you only get this kind of new moon with Jupiter there once every 12 years. I mean, last time it happened was summer of 13 to summer of 14. So I'll be covering that in more depth when we do the new moon video, but consider how rare this new beginning is. I think in 2013-14, it was the securing of a new property to move to. I found a new property to live in the late summer of 2014, for example, with a swimming pool. Perfect, right, for a Jupiter in Cancer for my moon in Pisces in Aries. Lastly, at the end of the month, we finish up with a Mercury ingress into Leo. Buckle up, Mercury in Leo. It happens on June 27th to September the 2nd because of retrogradation. It takes you back to 2017-18 in terms of duration and fire. Mercury is in the 5th house of creativity, artistic endeavors, entrepreneurship, children, romantic love. Mercury here for the entire summer and retrograding. Watch those old romantic partners come out of the woodwork and email, phone call, and text you in July. But for now, you're just starting this process, and Mercury's first ingress is opposite Pluto. and trine Saturn. Thank God for the Saturn trine. Ultimately, there is intensity, there's X-ray vision, there's transformative understanding of something. Fifth house, about your sexuality, about your romantic inclinations, about your children. There could be a breakthrough for one of your children as well. Pluto is in the house of career gains. Mercury is in the house of artistic and entrepreneurial matters. Mercury often represents certain types of people, like agents or something, or brokers or negotiators, or ideas. Mercury rules writing. You could start a writing project that's going to be very powerfully successful, but take you many steadfast years or a longer time than you imagine to complete. Everything you initiate here, marketing, selling, communicating, writing, entrepreneurial endeavors, is going to take longer than you think. Thank you, Saturn, but be stable and enduring. Some of this may be a sibling, one older and two younger than you, and some tension between them, and some breakthrough energy of mediation that you're providing, as another example. Mercury can rule games of chance, and this is a gambling house. And so Pluto is a wealth god, taking some risks, know your limit, play within it. But with Venus in the money house coming up to conjunct Saturn in early June, Uranus, I wouldn't say don't play a lottery ticket. I say you could definitely do that. You got all the way to September to do that. But more importantly, it's early in the ingress, like June 27th to July the 4th, that I'd say playing a lottery ticket could pay off big time. Windfalls, pennies from heaven, speculation of money wins, support from Venus with Mercury in the house of money. It looks like it could be a bit of a perky time to take a chance on a gaming situation. But again, remember, this is just general bell curve astrology and entertainment purposes only. I'm not encouraging your addictions, especially if you have one with gambling. And that's what I've got for you, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And you're getting used to Saturn ingressing into your sign. I didn't mention that. That was last month's forecast, but Saturn is here till September. And you look at everything in your life through the eyes of realism, realistic appraisals of what is real, true, and accomplishable over Chronos time. You're not doing anything for the fast and dirty. Everything you're chasing and doing, you understand if it's good, it takes time. It takes perseverance and it takes discipline. And that mindset in your independent, rebellious, brave, reckless, Aries, independent energy is all Saturnian. It's got some sagacity and wisdom and understanding and appreciation of endurance. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Come see me in Sky Reader this July and August. I'd love to have you be your own astrologer and time your best life so I don't have to do these videos and you can do it for yourself. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, I am looking forward to seeing more of you on my channel. If you haven't subscribed before, please think about coming aboard and helping the channel grow. I appreciate you. Take care.